Every farm produces waste, whether it's crop residues, animal manure, or kitchen scraps from daily meals. For many, this waste is seen as a problem, something to dispose of or burn. But what if you could turn it into your farm's most valuable resource? Long before synthetic fertilizers dominated agriculture, farmers relied on compost and organic fertilizers to enrich soil, boost yields, and maintain healthy crops. Understanding how to transform farm waste into nutrient-rich compost isn't just a sustainable practice. It's a game changer for anyone serious about soil health and productive farming. Why composting is more than recycling farm waste. Composting is a process of harnessing natural decomposition to convert organic materials into a dark, earthy, nutrient-dense substance that can feed your soil. Unlike chemical fertilizers, compost improves soil structure, water retention, and microbial life, creating an environment where plants can thrive naturally. Farm waste, left unmanaged, can become a source of odour, pests and disease. By turning it into compost, you not only manage waste, but actively improve your soil's fertility. You know, the beauty of this method really lies in its simplicity. The very materials that were once discarded, well, they become a cornerstone of productive, sustainable agriculture. So, how do you start collecting and preparing farm waste for composting? Well, the first step is understanding which materials are suitable for compost. Farm waste can include things like crop residues, stalks, leaves and husks, animal manure from cows, goats or chickens, kitchen scraps such as vegetable peelings, and even sawdust or straw. The key is balance. Composting requires a mix of greens, which are nitrogen-rich materials like manure, fresh plant matter or kitchen scraps, and browns, which are carbon-rich materials like dry leaves, straw and paper. This balance, you see, fuels microbial activity, accelerating decomposition while preventing odours and excessive heat. Once collected, materials should be chopped or shredded where possible to increase surface area, helping microbes break them down faster. For animal manure, it's important to mix it with carbon-rich materials to avoid excessive nitrogen buildup, which can burn plants when applied directly. Positioning your compost pile in a shaded, well-drained area will also ensure proper moisture and aeration, crucial elements for efficient decomposition. Why turning waste into compost requires careful layering and management. The process isn't passive. Active management ensures faster, higher quality results. Farmers traditionally layer greens and browns, alternating nitrogen and carbon-rich materials to create a balanced environment for microbial life. Moisture is critical, you know. The pile should feel like a damp sponge, not soggy, not dry. Turning the pile regularly introduces oxygen, which is absolutely essential for aerobic bacteria. These little fellows generate heat and break down organic matter efficiently. Temperature monitoring can be surprisingly insightful, actually. A well-maintained pile can reach between 55 and 65 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to kill weed seeds and pathogens, all while accelerating nutrient cycling. During decomposition, microbes transform complex organic compounds into humus, a form of soil organic matter that plants can readily absorb. Within just a few months, the once unwanted farm waste becomes a dark, crumbly, earthy-smelling substance packed with nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and trace minerals. Properly finished compost is safe, odourless, and versatile, ready to be applied directly to fields, gardens, or even potting mixes. How to turn compost into concentrated organic fertilizer. For farmers seeking a more potent solution, compost can be further processed into organic liquid fertilizer. By soaking finished compost in water for several days, you create a nutrient-rich extract, sometimes called compost tea. This liquid fertilizer can be applied directly to crops or soil, delivering nutrients quickly while enhancing microbial activity in the root zone. Now, stirring the mixture from time to time, well, it ensures even nutrient extraction and stops those pesky anaerobic conditions from setting in, which, you know, can lead to some rather unpleasant odours. Additionally, if you layer compost with other natural amendments like ash, bone meal, or even crushed shells, you can really boost specific nutrients. This lets farmers, well, tailor their fertilizer for different crops. This sort of flexibility, which is really rooted in centuries of observation and experimentation, makes compost-based fertilizer such an invaluable tool for both small-scale and large-scale agriculture, you see. Why is understanding farm waste composting so essential for sustainable farming? Well, composting and organic fertilizer production, they go far beyond just managing waste. They're truly foundational to long-term soil health. Farms that bring these practices into their routine, they tend to see improvements in soil structure, water retention, and, honestly, much better resilience against pests and diseases. By reintroducing organic matter into the soil, farmers reduce dependency on chemical inputs, cut costs, and create a sustainable cycle that strengthens both the land and the ecosystem surrounding it. For backyard enthusiasts or smallholders, these lessons are equally applicable. Even limited space can accommodate a small compost bin or pile. By understanding the principles of layering, moisture management and turning, anyone can convert kitchen scraps and garden waste into a powerful resource, dramatically improving plant growth and soil vitality. So, how do you actually put all this knowledge into practice on your own farm right now? Well, if you happen to be new to composting, it's best to, start small. Set aside a corner of your farm for a compost pile or maybe a bin. Gather up your greens and browns, layer them thoughtfully, and just keep an eye on the moisture and temperature as things progress. Every week or two, give your pile a good turn and pay attention to the changes in texture, colour, and even the smell. Within a few months, you'll find you've got rich compost ready to nourish your crops. And if you'd like a bit of liquid fertilizer, simply steep a portion of this compost in water for a few days, then apply it to your soil or even directly onto the foliage. Just notice how your plants respond. Over time, you'll want to refine your process, maybe experiment with different ratios and observe how your soil improves. The transformation is, well, quite tangible. You'll see healthier crops, need fewer inputs, and end up with a more resilient farm ecosystem. Composting your farm waste is honestly more than just a practical technique. It's a philosophy of stewardship. It takes what was once a problem and turns it into a real solution, connecting modern farmers with centuries of wisdom about nature's cycles. By mastering this process, you're gaining both efficiency and sustainability, making sure your soil stays fertile for generations to come.